visible spectrum, and it's taken into a kind of piece of equipment that translates it into a picture. So we have television, you know, or radio, or sound. So our inventions, the internet, these are all working with frequencies beyond our visible range. So we have not necessarily evolved beyond this, physically beyond this range, but we have tools and equipment that are tapping all of it. So we can have these powers beyond this range. So I also did some paintings that were connected to each of the chakras. So the color red, you know, the seated in the lotus, the seating, the seat, the foundation, your security, the feet, the seat, the chin, the color red. And I use this kind of figure seated in a lotus, which of course is also an ancient figure. You know, a lot of the ancient world was very connected to these ideas. So I have an ancient figure, this one card that I have seated in a lotus. I have, oh, just to kind of go through some of these artworks just for fun. Oh, I'll do this one next because this was the second chakra. The second chakra was the color orange, the creative, procreative. And here I have two figures sharing energy. You know, like right now, how beautiful for me. I get to come here and share energy with you. Oh, it's a very wonderful experience for me because exchanging these ideas with you, they're just magnified. You know, they're just so much more alive. So here, this kind of a painting. I did this painting. These are all paintings on canvas, and I made them into cards. But this one shows, like we were speaking before, about bringing in the powers of the color into you. And here I have it whirling, the powers of the color whirling into the third eye. Because this third eye is where I feel we're spinning ourselves into reality. We're spinning ourselves. It's a metaphor that comes out of that energy is matter equation, that we are energy, we are the speed of the spin. And color, the visible spectrum, is one of the ways we create ourselves, one of the ways we create the world and ourselves. So, and then of course the idea of doing it at will, bringing these colors to us to deliberately energize ourselves and enhance our aura. Now it may sound odd, but I did go through an experience once where I really felt kind of close to death. There was something that was a serious problem. And I had to bring myself back to life. And I had no other way of doing it. Where I was in such danger, I had to will myself back to life. And I did it by bringing each of these colors to me. I couldn't think of any other way to do it. I had no other protection. I was very vulnerable. I brought each color to me: red, orange, yellow, gold. I brought each color back to me, each color back to me. I brought those colors to me, and I know it sounds odd to say that I saved my life, but in a way, I really did, because it was a vulnerable moment. And I simply had to go to these colors to bring myself back to life, because I was beginning to lose my aura. My aura. I was beginning to, we are our aura. I did a painting called We Are Our Aura, We Are Auric Light. And if you start losing your colors and your light, you're fading away, you know, your life force, you see. So I did bring those colors back to me. And kept on marching, because there's always something there. I just kind of got myself out of a dangerous position. Well, a lot of this painting has to do with that idea, you know, of whirling those colors and those colors' energy back into ourselves.
Start to wrap up and take questions.
What?
Probably need to start wrapping up and taking questions.
Okay. And then quickly. Here's one, a piece of jewelry that brings energy to you, that's like a talisman. This artwork had to do with the idea that energy is matter. And these were a bubble chamber in Berkeley. They tried to see what an atom looked like. Take a picture of an atom, which is the smallest matter, and they couldn't find it. They just found streaks of light on film emulsion. So the smallest piece of matter, the atom, they just disintegrated into streaks of light. When I saw that image, I made this painting because the streaks of light were streaking and splashing and spinning, and this idea that we are just spinning light. So a lot of those ideas are expressed in these cards, and I have a few of them over here that I leave at the Temple of Light, because this is the temple of all the colors of the spectrum. And just quickly, just to wrap up quickly, because I brought this with me, I did this painting, and it was kind of a New Age Madonna. You know, the Madonna with the beautiful halo. She's a spiritual being. Well, I envisioned the halo coming out of us. We are, the halo is within, and that this process, and I painted this painting with this concept. So, okay, well, you may have questions. Is that it? We have to have some time for questions, because really it's so exciting to have
I have a
interchange.
question which is different. Can you talk about the energy in the back here?
Yes.
No, that's another energy.
Yes, yes. The back, that would be connected to the blue. Well, there are a couple of things that would be the back. On one level, the yellow, the golden color, the self-esteem, because your back, your erect spine, is how you're holding yourself up and carrying yourself and feeling pride. That back is connected to that, the rectum and the structure of the body. It's also maybe blue chakra, the shoulders, the expression. You know, if there's a pain in those places, yes, perhaps you can use the chakra light. Maybe the back, I know when I have a back problem, maybe it's a self-esteem issue. Sometimes, you know, maybe I haven't stood up for something and my back's beginning to hurt. You know, there could be some connection. So, you know, use this idea to kind of experiment with the possibilities and find your own solution. I guess that's what a lot of our healing is with the Temple of Light, is finding your own solution using these kind of vocabulary of the chakras and as a metaphor. So thank you, that was a good one. I see a question brings you into new insights. It's so amazing. A question is a quest. Yes.
4 months after my mom departed, my dad crossed over, and that morning I saw 2 perfect mini rainbows on each pillow on the couch where they sat when they visited me. And as I gazed at those rainbows, I felt their love. I felt them expressing their love to me and sending me joy and peace. And I don't know how the light could have refracted to make those perfect mini rainbows with all the colors in them. It's never happened before, and it may not happen again, but it was just a very magical.
Oh yeah.
And how would you describe the symbology of a rainbow? Perfect harmony.
Oh yeah. The rainbow is just so lucky when you see it. It's just you feel so lucky. I mean, it's always been associated with a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you know. It's just that rainbow. It's just that magical event when the light and the forces of the nature have created that, and when it pierces the clouds, it's so magical and so pretty.
It's like a miracle of perfection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess if we are energy, if matter is energy, we go into that light form. You know, when we leave this plane, this level of existence, we go into that light form. We're a light form ourselves here, you know, in this plane of existence, but then it's a beautiful metaphor to think of transcending it and going into that light form. And then always being able to touch those people we love because we know they're in this light form. they're in those 7 colors, but they're just not spinning here at this speed, at this level of energy. So it's just a beautiful idea to be able to harness that metaphorically and poetically.
Okay, I think just one more
Experience.
question.
Well, it's almost a comment on, building on what you said earlier. I often will take the energy of one chakra and apply it to another. For instance, I'm fighting my weight right now. You know, the waxing and waning like the moon stuff I'm doing right now. So that's my solar plexus chakra, my yellow chakra. But I want to be smart about what I eat. So in meditation, I apply my indigo to this region. I have leg stability issues, problems with my ankle and so forth. So when I know I'm tired and I'm walking on unfamiliar ground, I'll sometimes pull the violet into my feet so that I can have angelic guidance on where I step.
Yes,
I
that's
think that's
beautiful.
pretty much what you were saying,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful idea. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
She
maybe
did a great
that-
job. Give her a hand.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And you'll be available afterwards to answer any questions. So Ardavon is going to hand out the giving envelopes, and I'll go over a few things that are happening here at the temple while you do those.